Hey guys, King of Charmanders here. Today I rigged you a video on the best Magnamalo builds, the Riftborne meta for Season 7. And this video analyzes the best Magnamalo weapon builds. We will go through melee as well as ranged. In addition, this is actually a great time for you to try to go after these builds right now because Magnamalo weapons are discounted for a short period of time. So it's worth building them if you still need a blast weapon. Keywords, still need a blast weapon. But there are other things in here that are incredibly powerful. One particular build in general. And if you go through the entire video, you'll find out. First, we're going to start off with the best Magnamalo melee builds data. And here we analyze the data from the most realistic and effective Magnamalo melee builds. You see, we got a lot of things here. We got Pursuit, we got Valor, we have Burst. There's a lot of things that factually work with the Magnamalo weapons. And that's great because that means you have multiple builds that work as far as melee. Because although they are blast status weapons, they can be combined with raw attack power-up skills. Because high raw and blast is what you want, and high blast value or semi-low blast value is what you want. And the great thing is, because Magnamalo weapons do carry Part Breaker 1, Pursuit works really well with Magnamalo weapons. Meaning you even have more variety, which is awesome. And you have a lot of things to choose from, which is always really good. Alright, now we get started with the build. Starting off with the best Magnamalo melee build number 1, as this build uses Burst 5 and Pursuit 5. This is the highest theoretical damage overall, but that's the thing, it's only damage. So typically, prior to like the whole blast, like Elder Dragon pieces coming out, being able to inflict more status, the old meta actually used to be high raw damage builds like Burst 5. Those were in play in the past and they still apply today. And the thing is, if you do want high damage, it's factually not a bad idea. You're still going to be able to inflict blast, and assuming that you are fighting a monster anyways, your melee damage is actually going to do the most damage versus your blast damage. So that's the only caveat. You're going to be inflicting heavy damage versus blast, but either way works. However, again, the old meta back in the day was actually high damage, and high damage still works. And if you want high damage versus blast, this one's for you, because you can factually get Burst 5 and Pursuit 5. To use this build, you need the Zinogre Helmet at grade 6, the Espinas Mail at grade 8, the Rathian Van Braces at grade 6, Espinas Coil at grade 8, and the Glavenus Greaves at grade 8. Alright, next up we have the best Magnamalo build at number 2. We have the Teostra Blast Powder 3 and Burst 4. This is one of two highest blast proc ability out of all possible builds. So when you have Teostra Blast Powder 3, the proc rate is pretty ridiculous. If it's comparable to the Chameleos one, for some odd reason having 3 levels of Elder Dragon is just really dang good, and it procs a lot. However, the only thing is, Power Prolonger +1 for this build won't apply to all melee types, and this is the best build if you want the highest chance to proc blast while inflicting heavy raw damage. So this is the best combination. Evade Extender +1 is also one of the best defensive skills of this build. So you can go ahead and dance around the monster, and this allows you to attack more and proc more blast because your dodge range is much higher and your movement is much higher, especially if the monster tries to run away from you. So for this build, you need the Zinogre Helmet at grade 6, the Teostra Mail at grade 8, Rathian Van Braces at grade 6, Teostra Coil at grade 8, and Teostra Greaves at grade 8. On to the best Magnamalo melee build number 3, and here's the second build I was talking about, the highest black proc ability out of all possible builds. We have Teostra Blast Powder 3 and Burst 5. So the thing is, you get 1 extra level of burst on this one compared to the other one, but you give it Evade Extender level 1 from build number 2. If you're willing to give up the defense and movement, this build works for you. Again, highest burst level as far as it goes right here. But again, you do give up Evade Extender, which from my experience is actually really dang good and gives you a lot better as far as defense. It's worth giving up that 1 level basically. But if you like big numbers, you do get Artful Dodger number 2 here, so it's easy for you to perfect evade. For this build, you need the Teostra Helmet at grade 8, the Teostra Mail at grade 8, Rathian Van Braces at grade 6, Teostra Coil at grade 8, and the Glavenus Greaves at grade 8. At number 4 for the best Magnamalo melee builds, we have Valor 5, Burst 3, and Teostra Blast Powder 2. Yay, Valor! Now here's the thing, if you don't use Lock On, you can replace the Rathian Van Braces with Teostra Van Braces, but not all weapon types will benefit from the Artillery and Guard combination. So you might as well just use this one, to be honest with you. Not only that, the thing is, just having it's actually worth it to have more blast, because the reason, I mean not more blast, more burst, because the reason why is with burst, you are able to stack that Valor damage whenever the monster roars. And that's a big caveat. It only works for monsters that actually roar. Or they actually survive long enough to where the Valor boost actually matters. If the monster is almost dead, Valor won't really matter in the end. Like, that's the fact of it. You'll still kill it in the same amount of time, likely, if you never had the Valor boost at all, or probably shave off 1 or 2 seconds. But if you love Valor, and Valor is for you, for this build, you need the Teostra helmet at grade 8. Basil Juice Mail at grade 8. You also need the Rathian Vambraces at grade 6, the Teostra Coil at grade 8, and the Basil Juice Greaves at grade 8. Moving on to number 5, we have the best Magnamalo melee build, and we have a Pursuit 5 and Teostra Blast Powder 2 and Burst 2 build. So if you want the best balance combination while still being able to inflict high damage with Pursuit, and inflict Blast to deal damage / break parts. Having tested this thing out, you get the best of all worlds, and the thing is, it also carries Evade Extender +1. I'm not being biased, I swear this thing's amazing. Using this in hundreds and thousands of hunt, having Evade Extender at 1 is really good. And again, this thing has the best balance out of all the builds. You have Attack, you have Blast, you have Pursuit, as well as Burst to activate. For this build, you need the Teostra Helmet at grade 8, the Espinas Mail at grade 8, Rathian Vambraces at grade 6, Espinas Coil at grade 8, and the Teostra Greaves at grade 8. Alright, and last but not least for melee, we have the best melee build at number 6. You have Pursuit 5, Burst 4, / Partbreaker 4. So if you want heavy damage and you like breaking parts, which you need to activate Pursuit anyways, at minimum you need Partbreaker 2 for it to be effective and consistent. This kind of overkills that at Partbreaker 4. So with a 4, you'll part break things consistently. There's really no doubt about it. The only downside is, just like with the highest damage one, you don't blast. So that's the thing. Without those boosts, it's mainly for breaking parts / dealing damage with your attacks. Not saying you can't blast still, but if we follow the same concept as the old meta used to be, this is the best overarching one as far as if you want to break parts and you want to do damage. So for this build, you need a Black Diablo's Helmet at grade 6, Espinas Mail at grade 8, Rathian Vambraces at grade 6, Espinas Coil at grade 8, and the Glavenus Greaves at grade 8. However, we're not done yet. We have one more, but this is specifically for the Gunlance, the best Magnamalo Gunlance build. Again, specifically for the Gunlance. This maxes out Artillery 5 and gives Focus 4, and this is the highest focus speed without Drift Smelts. So you can only get 4 without Drift Smelting, even though 4 is still really dang good. And Charge Shelling and Worm Stake Shot to inflict Blast is the best way for this build. Do not style change. Both styles don't work well with long style gun lances. If you used it on it, that kind of sucks because, again, long just doesn't do well. Here's the thing. With Blast Dash, it's normal. With Guard Reload, it's wide. Those are the two ones. Unfortunately, long is just for the regular one and is best because charge shelling damage. And the reason why Magnamalo Gunlance was actually one of the most built grade 10 weapons in the game for year 2 was because of the fact Worm Stake Shot can inflict blast, and the way the mechanic works with Worm Stake is ridiculous. So you will be able to consistently inflict blast without actually having any blast procs just because of how Stake Shot works, which is amazing. For this build, you need the Azarathlos Helmet at grade 6, the Basarios Mail at grade 6, Beatotus Vambraces at grade 6, Basil Juice Coil at grade 6, and the Basarios Greaves at grade 4, along with your Magnamalo Gunlance at grade 8 and as high as you can get it. Moving on, we have the best Magnamalo bow builds data, and here we analyze the data from the most realistic and effective Magnamalo bow builds, and sadly you just don't have much variety. I have Teostra bow in here because it's a super weapon and it's the best blast bow as of right now. The problem is it has a bad equipment skill, which is Heroics 2. That's literally the only thing holding Teostra bow back. Heroics 2 is terrible. No one wants to purposely put their HP lower unless you're like one of the other creators where you're trying to make something out like, oh, I can beat this 10-star monster. By the way, I'm going to have to use a potion or wait till my HP restores because I'm trying to bank on Heroics. And Heroics kind of got phased out as the meta for Raw anyway, so that's good. But yeah, Heroics is pretty useless. And the thing is, Magnamalo bow only really works well with dodge bow style change. Other than that, it's not worth using. Unfortunately, with the way it operates, yes, it only works with dodge bolt style. You don't want power volley because you have to go all the way to 3 and it slows down your charge shot. So more on the guide on the bow later for style changes, but yeah, unfortunately, there's only one specific bow build that really works for the Magnamalo bow and is worth it. And for the best Magnamalo bow build at number 1, you would use this for the Magnamalo bow as well. However, it's best used with the Teostra bow. And this is Focus 5 and Teostra Blast Powder 3. Using the Camillus bow variant of this, it's ridiculous just how much you can Vic Blast, and it's the most viable build for bow unless you are style changing. So again, this can be used for the Magnamalo bow as well. Do I recommend it? Not really. Again, I'm going to recommend the bow build is 2 with style change is what you should use with the Magnamalo bow. Otherwise, just default to the light bowgun, which later on I'm going to show you is the best build for any Magnamalo weapon because of how powerful it is. For this build in particular though, if you want to use the Magnamalo bow, again, best used with Teostra bow, Teostra helmet at grade 8, Teostra mill at grade 8, Beatotus Fan Bracer at grade 6, Rajane Coil at grade 8, and the Teostra Greaves at grade 8. And at number 2, that style change bow build I was talking about here, it requires the Magnamalo bow and the Dodge Bolt Charge style change. So you're going to need to style change this if you want it to be effective. But the reason why is because Pursuit plus Blast equals amazing. And along with Part Breaker 2, you're going to be able to break parts, activate Pursuit, and dodge out of attacks easily using Dodge Bolt's mobility. Dodge Bolt is factually the best one with the Magnamalo bow. You're going to be able to blast the monster away. You're going to be able to break those parts, and Pursuit's going to activate pretty quickly. And you don't have to worry about getting blasted by attacks because Dodge Bolt is really good at staying out the way, despite the fact that you have a lower evasion. But you're going to consistently move anyways. Sadly, Guardian Artillery won't do anything for you, but regarding this, it's still a very powerful build because we need something to get 3, and unfortunately, we don't have any other flexibility for Pursuit as of right now. So for this build, you need the Teostra helmet at grade 8, the Espinas mail at grade 8, Teostra Van Braces at grade 8, Espinas Coil at grade 8, and the Teostra Greaves at grade 8. And last but not least, we have the best Magnamalo bowgun builds data. So here we analyze the data for the most effective and realistic Magnamalo bowgun builds. For light bowgun, you have style change / cluster bomb, so that would be the best overall. You probably have seen contents already. I have my own build I'm going to post later, but yes. The OG reload speed and recoil down 3 build just isn't worth it. That one light bowgun, that one bowgun is extremely powerful and you should use it. Do not use the heavy bowgun. For heavy bowgun, you would use a reload speed 3 and recoil down 3 build, but it isn't worth it, especially considering that we have Black Diablo's heavy bowgun. So because you have the Black Diablo's heavy bowgun, it just runs it over. So there's no reason for you to really build the Magnamalo heavy bowgun unless you can style change, because we don't know that as of right now. This light bowgun is the strongest, and it will be for a while, because you're not going to get heavy bowgun style change until next year. And this brings us to the best Magnamalo bowgun build. This is the bowgun arcing for both of them, as they max out Pursuit 5, and it's used for both Magnamalo light bowgun and the heavy bowgun. I don't recommend this if you are going the style change stepping shot, which is the next build. It's not worth it. Overall, Magnamalo bowgun isn't worth it unless in one specific instance, which is that stepping shot. So I'm saying it a lot because, again, you don't really want to use this, but if we are factually looking at the best one without stepping shot, this would be it. And the heavy bowgun in general isn't worth building for this. I already mentioned before, the Black Diablos one is just so powerful it beats it by a mile. But if you don't want a style change, you're just looking for this one. It's expensive, but if you want to, here's the Namiel helmet at grade 8, the Espinas mail at grade 8, the Basarios Fan Braces at grade 6, Espinas Coil at grade 8, and the Azaratlos Greaves at grade 6. And for the final build we have, this is the most powerful build out of all the Magnamalo light bowgun and for any weapon in general for Magnamalo. This build uses the light bowgun stepping shot style change. You might have seen this all over social media because it is factually that powerful. I have my own variation of this and I'm going to post that later on. I'm not going to post this here because I want to make an entire video on it. And the purpose of this build is to spam cluster bomb ammo. Dump your normal and sticky ammo and you're going to purely use cluster bombs. While evade reload allows you to reload your cluster bombs and spam it. So again, dump the first 2 and then all you have to do is just spam cluster bombs. Boom, boom, dodge, boom, boom. You want to cause a war crime. You want to cause a mass amount of destruction and raining from above. Just like what happened to me in Afghanistan, which isn't actually a good time, but you know it's not a good time for the monster. It was nerfed, but it is still one of the most powerful builds in the game, and you don't need reload speed or recoil down at all with this build. It's absolutely amazing. The 2 key pieces for this are the Somnicat Van Braces at grade 6 and the Chotacabra Greaves at grade 6. The reason being is because you only need that to get the maximum chance to reload your ammo and refilling it by 2. If you go reload 5, you get it by 3. You don't need 3 because Cluster Bomb maxes out 2, and you factually don't really need it at 3 anyways. But again, I'm going to reveal the full build for this in the future, later on in a future video, and it's going to come soon. So if you want light bowgun, it's the best. Style change that thing for a stepping shot. It's going to be absolutely amazing. Hopefully this helps you with what Magnamalo weapon build you want to use. Look out for my bow style change video along with that Magnamalo light bowgun stepping shot video I have out there. I don't know why anyone hasn't realized this build yet, but you know what? It's incredibly powerful, and I actually got all the materials to max out the bowgun as well as style change because I got really lucky and got 2 Riftborne skill drops. Double that up, you got 4, and then you can style change. Credibility is important, so make sure you follow someone credible, and you probably have already seen a bunch of content out there. It's insane. Unlike some people which don't do their homework, if you do your homework and you looked out there, this is really insane. I can't wait to show it. Please do me a huge favor. Like, subscribe, and comment for the YouTube algorithm. Go look on your grinds. Hopefully y'all are having a good time. I wish you the best luck on all your Riftborne drops. No, seriously, those things are very painful. Go look on your grinds, and I will see y'all on the next video.